Hello and welcome to Working with Files and Directory Operations. So what we're going to be doing in this video is we're going to be going through several Java programs that work with files and directories on the OS file system. So the first program writes a method that, given a path to a file that doesn't yet exist, creates all intermediate directories and the file itself. So if we go and look at that program, the main thing, we have our imports up above. The first line of code that we want to take a look at is found on line 21. The get method on the path class will obtain a path object for us. So what we're going to do is we're going to pass in the full path, and that will now be our path object that we're going to pass in to create file path. Once we pass that in, we're going to go ahead and in our parent, we're going to go ahead and save the path to the file, but not the file name itself. So it'll return everything up to the file and its extension by calling get parent, get absolute path. And then what we're doing here in current is we're setting current equal to the current OS root. So in my case, it's C:\\/ since I'm working on a Windows operating system. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and iterate through our path that's in our parent variable, and we're going to pull out each directory and we're going to join that to current. So the first time through, we'll pull out the first directory, join that to current, which is our root, and that'll form our first directory. And if that file does not exist, or directory does not exist, we'll go ahead and actually create the directory. So files.exist checks to see if a directory or a file does exist on your system or does not. If it does not, then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and call the create directory method on the files class to go ahead and create that directory. And then after we've gone through and we've created our path to the file, we'll go ahead and create the file itself. So let's go ahead and run the code, compile, and we will run it, and I will specify a path, CIS example folder 1, folder 2, folder 3, and then names.text. Go ahead and hit enter. So it says that the path was created successfully. So if I go out into my C drive, I have my CIS example. We got our folder 1, our folder 2, our folder 3, and we have an empty names.txt file. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete that. So that is the first program. So the second program we're going to look at is we're going to write a method called copy directories that copies all files and directories from one directory to another. So what we're going to pass it in is the from directory and the to directory on our copy directories method. So let's go back in and open up our copy directories demo. Scroll on up to the top. So we have our various import statements up above. We're going to ask the user to enter the source path and the destination path. Then what we're going to do is we're going to call our copy directories method, passing in the from and the to directories. So let's go ahead and the other thing we're going to do is we're actually going to be passing in the actual path, a path object. So let's scroll on down to our copies directory. So the files.walk method gets all descendant files and directories. So that'll grab them from the from directory that we passed in, and that will go ahead and create a stream for us. So after that, we're going to use the stream collect method to get a list of paths. So the toList will get a list of paths for us, and we're going to go ahead and store those in a list called src paths. We're going to go ahead and create a new path object, which will be our destination. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use the resolve method to combine our paths, and we're going to use the relativize method to construct a relative path between our source path and our destination path. So basically what that'll do is that'll go ahead and our to directory, it'll go in and create the necessary information from our from directory path. And then what we're going to do after that is we're going to go ahead and copy all the files from that source to the destination. So we will go ahead and actually compile and run the program. So I will go ahead and enter as my source CIS 263, and then my destination will be CIS 263 example. So I'll go ahead and run that. It looks like the copy completed successfully, so let me go out and check out. I have my 263 directory. I'll just check its properties. 5.24 megabytes, 212 files, 22 folders. Go ahead and see if that matches. But yeah, 212 files, 22 folders, about the same size in megabytes. So it looks like it actually went through and copied all the folders and files from my CIS 263 directory into my CIS 263 example directory. So again, the main part of the program is you would go ahead and loop through your source paths, and you would go ahead and use the resolve and revitalize method to construct a relative path between your source path and your destination path. So that is the second program. The third program we're going to look at is we're going to go ahead and write a method public static clear all directories, where we're going to pass in a path that removes all files and all subdirectories from a directory. So let's go into JGrasp, clear all directories demo. Again, we have all our imports that we need. We're going to have the user enter the directory path. We're going to convert that to a path object, and then we're going to pass that path object to our clear all directories method. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead, get all descendant files and directories in our files.walk method. So that'll return all our descendant files and directories, and then we're going to use the stream collect method to get a list of all those paths. So that should return a list of all of our descendant files and directories, and then we're going to go ahead and iterate through that list, deleting each entry in the list. And our delete command, files.delete, will go ahead and delete that entry. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use system.out.println to show what paths are getting deleted as we iterate through our list of source paths. So we'll go ahead, compile the program, and run the program. So what I want to delete now is my CIS 263 example. And if I hit enter, it looks like chapter 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20, 21, 23. So definitely has deleted a lot of files that were found in that directory. So each one of those was an entry in our src paths file. So if we go ahead and go back into that directory, I go ahead and click on it. Basically, all the contents under that directory has been wiped clean. So I just wanted to walk you through three example programs where you would use some of the methods and classes that Java provides you to work with files and directories. So we will talk to you next time.